White. Werfel's going to throw it in. No pass is intercepted. Wide open at the 10, to the 15, to the 20. He's at the 30. He's at the 40. Giving chase as Werfel won't catch him. To the 30, to the 20, to the 10. He is gone. 95 yards. Touchdown, Auburn!
They defied the experts. They ignored the critics.
Got the step. Bailey, he's got it. Great catch. Touchdown, Auburn!
They believed in themselves when no one else did.
Everybody here, I can't say offense like everybody here, great job. Men, you believe in yourself, you can do anything.
The 1993 Auburn Tigers, the Believers. Against seemingly insurmountable odds, these Auburn men brought joy to the hearts of Auburn people.
Stan White's going to give up the middle. Fullback carries, broke tackle, broke another tackle, 20, 15, 10, 5, he's gone! Touchdown, Auburn!
Led by a first-year coach and a determined group of players, this team began a quest for respect.
Again, motion out of the backfield, give to Johnson, he's up. Did he make it? I don't think he did. I think they stopped him. Yes, 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 they stopped him.
They battled through adversity. They persisted through pain. Together, they developed an attitude. A winning attitude, forged through hard work and effort, strengthened by their unwavering faith in one another.
Jacobs going to float one for Sanders. Sanders, oh, he caught it at the 2, and he dived in. Touchdown, Auburn! Touchdown, Auburn! Oh, my goodness!
On December 17, 1992, a new era began on the Plains. Samford's Terry Bowden was hired as the 23rd head coach in Auburn history.
I want to appeal to all the good people of Auburn, to our alumni, to the Auburn family, former players, those who this football program means so much to join behind me and help us take this program not to places where it has never been, but to the levels that y'all have already obtained and want to go back to and want to go to again.
Despite the hiring of this highly respected and talented young coach, the preseason was filled with question marks. Pending NCAA sanctions hung over the team like a dark cloud. There were only 5 seniors in the starting lineup. In August, players and coaches were still getting acquainted. Then, just days before the season opener against Ole Miss, Auburn received its sanctions from the NCAA. Through no fault of their own, there would be no bowl and no television for this team. Though times were hard and the situation difficult, Coach Terry Bowden and the men on this team did not lose sight of their goal. The mood surrounding the team continued to be upbeat.
The one thing that builds confidence more than anything is getting wins, and especially early on against a very tough Ole Miss team and playing a tough game and an SEC game to start the season off, I think it helped us tremendously.
From the opening kickoff, it was apparent that Auburn came ready to play. On their first possession, the Tigers marched 54 yards in 13 plays, quickly putting points on the board with a Scott Etheridge field goal. Auburn's defense played like the Tigers of old, holding the Rebels scoreless for 3 quarters. This was the kind of tough, gritty defense to which Auburn fans had become accustomed. The offensive line, led by seniors Wayne Gandy and Anthony Redmond, dominated the line of scrimmage. It opened gaping holes for junior tailback James Bostic, who gained 154 yards on 28 carries.
Here's White, the toss sweep to the tailback. Bostic shakes off the tackle. Bostic crosses the goal line. He's in. Touchdown, Auburn!
The character of the 1993 Auburn football team began to surface when the Rebels mounted a fourth-quarter rally. The Tigers stood their ground when it counted. They took home their first win.
The reason we won that game is because we looked forward to that game all summer. And I don't know as much as if Ole Miss did. And they weren't as excited about it, because I tell you, we wanted that game, I think, more than most games we wanted here this year.
They also gave their coach his first win. A new era had dawned indeed.
Man, you fought 60 minutes. I told you went on a 60-minute ball game. And it came down to a 6-minute ball. I'm proud of you. I'm proud to be part of you. Let's keep on working.
Quarterback Stan White was unquestionably the leader of the offensive unit. As a four-year starter, he was a force in the huddle, a beacon of strength for the younger players.
He comes out and he makes passes that are just unbelievable, that you wouldn't see. I mean, being dragged down by two players and he still completes a pass. As the games go on, we see those passes come along and we see him making the moves, dodging tacklers. And, you know, he bestows in us a kind of confidence that he's going to do his job. All we have to do is do our job.
Against Samford, his 3 touchdown passes paved the way to a 35-7 win. At LSU, Tiger fans would watch as White's name moved ahead of the legendary Pat Sullivan in the Auburn record book.
Here's White, going to play fake. White's going to air one out down the middle to Sanders. He's got it at midfield. Great play.
Against the Bayou Bengals, Stan became Auburn's all-time passing yardage leader. Auburn had not won in Death Valley since 1939. But on this night, no one was going to spoil the Auburn party. Auburn's offensive onslaught that night netted 550 yards of total offense. White passed for 282 yards, threw a touchdown pass, and ran one in himself. With this surprising 34-10 win at Baton Rouge, the Tigers were 3-0. If they could win at LSU, perhaps they could win anywhere.
Now, we got a game ball now. You know who this got to go to. The all-time passing leader in the history of Auburn.
White was fortunate this year to be surrounded with excellent receivers. Junior Thomas Bailey and senior Sean Carter were consistent all season long. Frank Sanders emerged as one of the finest big play receivers in Auburn history. Big plays were quickly becoming this team's trademark.
Here's a toss sweep. It's Bostic looking for room. Broke one tackle. Stumbles in there. He's in. Touchdown, Auburn!
In week 4, when Southern Mississippi scored 17 points in the third quarter to take the lead, the offense responded.
Sets up, going to go for broke. Bailey's got the step. Bailey, he's got it. Great catch. Touchdown, Auburn! 40 yards. Unbelievable.
The Tigers had retaken the lead for good. It wasn't a thing of beauty, but Auburn pulled out a 35-24 victory over the Golden Eagles. The Tigers were 4-0. Still, many wondered when the dream would end. Against Vanderbilt, it nearly did. The pesky Commodores kept Auburn's offense in check, with the exception of an impressive third-quarter drive.
Rolls left. A lot of open field, but he'll throw on the run. Caught by Sanders, 45, 40, 35, 30. Watching the foot race at the 25 to the 20 to the 15 to the 10 to the 5. He is hit from behind, and down he goes at the 4-yard line.
James Bostic capped off the drive, giving the Auburn offense its only score of the night. This was a night that belonged to the defense.
Simon rolling to his left, sitting up, throwing, pass intercepted at the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. He's gone. Brian Robinson, touchdown, Auburn!
In the fourth quarter, the defense made a stand. In a dramatic goal line stand, it stonewalled the Commodores 3 times inside the Auburn 5.
Simon from the power eye with 2 tight ends. Again, motion out of the backfield. Give to Johnson. He's up. Did he make it? I don't think he did. I think they stopped him. Yes, 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 they stopped him.
I mean, we were down there on the goal line, and as a linebacker and as a person that wants to be a leader on that defense, you know, I stepped up and I was telling everybody, I mean, we haven't lost it yet. I mean, the game isn't won. I mean, behind the goal line, they had to get through the goal line first. And, I mean, it was kind of shaky down there, but it was no doubt in my mind that we could come together as a defense and stop them all 4 plays. And, you know, unfortunately, I was in on 2 of the big stops and everything, but it was this whole team defense type thing. I mean, everybody did their job, therefore it opened up situations where linebackers made the plays.
Linebackers Anthony Harris and Jason Miska combined for 35 tackles. Vanderbilt would not cross the 50-yard line again. The Tigers emerged unscathed with a 14-10 win.
That's the sweetest one so far, if you ask me. That was sweet. 5-0, we got Mississippi State at home.
While the offense had grabbed the early headlines, now with mid-season approaching, the defense was beginning to take center stage. This was looking more and more like the Auburn defense of old. It made the big plays and the little plays, playing disciplined, hard-nosed football. While it had its share of talent, its true success came from the attitude created by walk-ons like linebacker Jason Miska and defensive end Willie Whitehead. Despite its youth, the defense was playing with the poise of veterans.
Really, at the beginning of the season, we just wanted to come out and prove ourselves to everyone once again. And with us having the down years, the past 2 years, we really just thought that this season was a chance for us to do something to help ourselves and the university.
When Mississippi State came to Jordan-Hare Stadium October 9th, the experts believed that the clock was approaching midnight in Auburn's Cinderella season. The Bulldogs moved the ball early, but the Auburn defense held State to just 2 field goals in the first half.
He's back there to throw, and he's got all day to do it. Down the near side, pass, intercepted beautifully, down at the Auburn 1-yard line. Calvin Jackson played it to perfection.
Meanwhile, the Tiger offense was poised to strike.
Wideouts all over the place, and he's going to fire downfield. Sanders has it on the dead run at 35 to 30, 25 to 20, 15, 10, 5. He's gone. Touchdown, Auburn! 57 yards, White to Sanders. Beautifully executed play.
Six minutes later, sophomore sensation Steve Davis took a stand-wide pass and rambled for another touchdown. By the afternoon's end, Auburn had won a 37-17 victory, assuring the Tigers of a winning season. A key to the victory had been the play of Auburn's offensive line. The men up front were paving the way to success.
Each one of them, just like I said, gave 100% every time, starting with Wayne Gandy. He was the leader of that line, and then you had Shannon Robick at center, and Jason Taylor, and Todd Bolin, and Willie Anderson, that was a freshman, just stepped up and really helped us tremendously this year. And then Anthony Redmond and Andy Fuller, both being two starters for us last season, really contributed a lot with their experience too.
Against the Bulldogs, tailback James Bostic again rushed for more than 100 yards. He was the kind of weapon the Tigers had not had since the days of Bo Jackson and Brent Fullwood. In fact, he's the first Auburn back to gain more than 1,000 yards in a season since Fullwood did it in 1986. His understudy, Steve Davis, was also effective. Against Samford in his collegiate debut, his tremendous potential was evident.
White toss sweep. There's Davis. A hole at right tackle. Davis hammers inside the 5. Ran over a man and into the end zone. Touchdown, Auburn!
The unsung heroes of the running game were fullbacks Reed McMillan and Tony Richardson. While blocking for Bostic and Davis, they also caught the ball and did the dirty work, gaining the tough yards up the middle. The Tigers were 6-0 and playing well going into the showdown with Florida. But not everyone believed this was a team of destiny. Not yet.
Every game seemed to give us a little bit of something to learn from, to grow from, but not until the Florida game, not until we go into a fourth-ranked team, a team that on paper you could not find any way we could win.
When Florida came to town October 16th, Auburn would obviously need all the strength and fortitude it could muster. The two teams would combine to score 41 points in the first half alone. Yet it was the Tiger defense that put Auburn's first points on the board.
Six-man rush. Werfel's going to throw in the end zone. Pass is intercepted wide open at the 10, to the 15, to the 20. He's at the 30. He's at the 40. Giving chases. Werfel won't catch him. To the 30, to the 20, to the 10. He is gone. 95 yards. Touchdown, Auburn! Calvin Jackson!
In the second quarter, a Stan White bootleg put Auburn in front 14-10, but the lead was short-lived. Florida surged to a 27-14 halftime lead. With the Gators' experience, it appeared the Auburn dream season might have come to an end. But in the second half, the Tiger defense turned up the heat, holding Florida to just 40 yards rushing the final 30 minutes. Auburn made it close midway in the third quarter on a 23-yard touchdown pass to Tony Richardson. As with all big games, it would be won or lost in the fourth quarter.
White's going to give it to Bostic. Racing to get outside, won't make it. Broken tackle. He's going to go. Touchdown, Auburn! They have Bostic over on the far flank, trying to turn the corner. I don't see how James broke out of that.
The Tigers took the lead on Bostic's run and widened the margin moments later.
Here's Bostic giving it off to Sanders. End around Sanders. Got clean sailing to the 5. He's in. Touchdown, Auburn!
But Florida was not dead yet. the Gators tied the score with just over 5 minutes remaining in the game. This young team could have folded. Instead, the Tigers marched defiantly to the winning score. After taking 4.5 minutes off the clock, Scott Etheridge took center stage.
Waiting for the snap, the spot, kick away, plenty long. Kick is good! It's good! Etheridge, at a minute 21 in the ball game, has kicked it through. And Auburn breaks out on top, 38-35.
There was no time for a Gator miracle finish. The Auburn Tigers were 7-0. Who would have believed it?
Man, listen now, man. Hey, no, everybody here, I can't say offense like everybody here, great job. Men, you believe in yourself, you can do anything. You go to top 4 now with I don't care where they rank. I don't care. They can rank us nothing for all I care. You're there now, you're there. It's a great win, man. That's a guy I'm so proud of.
Against Florida, special teams again proved essential to victory. Scott Etheridge became the most reliable kicker in Auburn history and did not miss an extra point in his entire career. The nation's leading punter, Terry Daniel, had his longest punt of the year against Florida, a 71-yarder.
Daniel waiting at the 15. There's the snap, and he launches a beauty, a rocket. Wobbly spiral that's going all the way through and out of the end zone on the roll. Man alive, what a kick. 71 yards by Terry Daniel.
The 7-0 Tigers received a chilly welcome in Arkansas with 15-mile-an-hour winds, snow on the ground, and a wind chill of 10 degrees. When the game ended, however, it was the Razorbacks who were left in the cold. The warm glow of victory once again belonged to the Auburn Tigers. Despite the frigid temperatures, this game evolved like many others this season. After falling behind 7-0, the Tiger offense answered quickly. Stan White took it in to knot the score at 7-all. Defense obviously would play a major role.
Both ends are split for Barry Lunny. Retreating, setting up to throw. Has time, fires, pass. Intercepted at the 35 to the 30 to the 25 to the 20. Robinson to the 15 to the 10. He's to the 5. He's in there. Touchdown, Auburn!
The running game would also prove vital to Auburn's success. James Bostic's 12-yard touchdown run put the Tigers up by 10. But the workhorse of the Auburn backs this day would be Reed McMillan. He pounded the Arkansas defense for 91 yards on 12 carries. His 16-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter put this game out of reach. After an easy win over New Mexico State, the Tigers headed into the Georgia game undefeated at 9-0. Some Auburn people couldn't believe their eyes. Even the most loyal Auburn fans had to wonder when or if the streak would end. Perhaps it was better to simply have faith. True to form, the Georgia game would take fans on yet another emotional ride.
Stan White's going to give up the middle. Fullback carries, broke tackle, broke another tackle, 20, 15, 10, 5, he's gone! Touchdown, Auburn!
James Bostic would add 2 touchdown runs of his own to give the undefeated but underdog Tigers a 21-7 lead at the half. Chris Schelling appeared to put the game away with a 73-yard interception return for a touchdown in the 3rd quarter. But that's when the fun began. The favored Bulldogs twice came back to make it a 7-point game. The Tigers responded with a Mark Johnson interception and a Chris Schelling recovery of an onside kick. SEC Player of the Week James Bostic finally put this one out of reach. As the Athens sky faded to orange and blue, the Tigers, the Believers, were still undefeated. At 10-0, they were now assured of having the best record in the SEC in 1993. The scene was now set for the climactic showdown with the Crimson Tide at Jordan-Hare.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna have a big dime in the middle of my ring. Hey, they can play it back. They can play for the conference championship, but we're the best in the conference. One on the field. Fellas, I'm proud of you. I am so proud of you. Nobody, they don't believe somewhere else, but you believed right here. They can put you an underdog and you're 7th in the nation, but you believe. And man, I'm proud of you because you don't need nobody else to believe as long as you believe. And you did. And that's a great job. Defense, great effort. Offense, way to put the points up. Great overall win, man. Great overall win. We're going to savor it all night long. And then on Sunday morning, it's Bama.
The man behind the success of this remarkable team was Coach Terry Bowden. Somehow, he ignored the preseason distractions and focused this team, his team, on the goals they had set.
We needed a boost of confidence, and that's what Coach Bowden brought in. He brought a breath of fresh air and the positives that go with winning and the belief, and I think his belief in himself really carried over into us, and I think that's the reason we had such a successful season this year.
Although it was Coach Bowden's first year, he realized the importance of the Alabama game his first day on the job.
I will be the new coach at Auburn. I will probably not be accepted as the new coach till I beat Alabama. I know that. That's part of it. That's the way it is, and that's the way it should be.
On this, the most important game of these players' lives, they appeared loose, well prepared, and quietly confident. But they were playing the defending national champions, a team with a tradition of writing their own fairy tale success stories.
Williams now in a tailback, and he's going to give on the end-around reverse to Kevin Lee in the open field. 40, 45, 50. Lee may go. He's at the 40, the 35, the 30, down this near sideline to the 25, to the 20, to the 10. He is gone. Touchdown, Alabama, 63 yards.
But this Auburn team had come too far and endured too much to be denied this close to the ultimate goal.
They break out of the eye. Barker again to throw from the end zone. He's in trouble. Barker goes down. That's an Auburn safety. He was hit from behind by Jason Miska. Auburn has recorded a safety.
The Tigers battled back the only way they knew how, with all-out effort and intensity. But midway in the third quarter, there was an unexpected turn of events. Quarterback Stan White went down with a knee injury. Patrick Nix, who had never been tested in the heat of an epic battle, would now take center stage. If he had any uncertainties, he sure didn't let on.
Out of shotgun, Patrick Nix. Alabama bringing everybody. Nix is going to float one for Sanders. Sanders, oh, he caught it at the 2, and he dived in. Touchdown, Auburn! Touchdown, Auburn! Oh, my goodness! Sanders went up over Tommy Johnson or Antonio Langham. He caught the ball at the 2. How he held it, I don't know, but he dived into the end zone, and Auburn's right back at the thick of it.
Without warming up, on 4th and 15, Nix had thrown the biggest touchdown pass of his life in the biggest game of them all.
Patrick hops in the huddle with a command-type voice. He says, 78 stays, you take off. And he said, Tony Richardson said, line, give him a chance to make a good throw. And he said, Frank, I'm going to throw the ball to you no matter what. And I said, okay. I just ran out to the side, ran a straight go route. And, he made a good throw, a perfect throw, actually. He gave him a good position in front of the deep defender. I just out-jumped the guy and turned around and over to the end zone.
The play turned the game around. Alabama would never threaten the Auburn end zone again. Early in the fourth quarter, Scott Etheridge put the Tigers in front.
There's the snap, the spot, the kick is away. This kick is good. And Auburn leads 15-14. Etheridge from 26 yards has given Auburn the lead for the first time here in the second half.
Now, with their goal in sight, Auburn's defense turned up the heat one more time. Twice on 4th down, they denied the Crimson Tide. The Tigers had won this test of will.
Barker to throw. Barker's going long for Todrick Malone. Ball is intercepted down at the Auburn 30-yard line. It was Dell McGee. Dell McGee on the interception.
On the very next play, James Bostic would put his signature on this classic.
On a first down play, here up the middle, Bostic, 5 yards, 10 yards, 45, Bostic, 50, Bostic, racing to the 45, to the 40, breaking and tackling to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, he's gone! Touchdown, Auburn!
Boy, did James Bostic ever break that one. He had 3 touchdowns against Georgia, coming in this week as the SEC Player of the Week offensively, 183 yards in that game. And that big man just broke it over the right side and outran everybody and broke another tackle around the 25-yard line. Great speed, great power. What blocking by the Auburn offensive line.
70 yards.
This most remarkable year had ended in the most remarkable way. Auburn 22, Alabama 14. The Tigers were a perfect 11-0.
And the Auburn Tigers have put away the Crimson Tide by the score of 22-14. 11-0, 11-0, 11-0.
As the team spilled out onto the field to celebrate, it's likely they still didn't realize just what they had done. Emotion spilled over to the locker room, where the past and present came together in a unique celebration of Auburn spirit.
Listen, just
Sit down, let's let Coach stay for something.
let me just. I won't be able to suck it, man, in this, and it's not going to be emotional. It is an emotional day, and it should be for you from a standpoint of being excited about the events of the day. But I wanted to come by the dressing room, win, lose, or draw. I was going to be here. to thank Terry and his staff and all of the people, Dr. Muse, administrators, everybody, for making me feel a part of this football team. Now, you can't imagine how important that's been to me. The players, same thing. Just, I mean, our relationship, and it's just been made my life a joyous one this fall, and watching you play, watching you grow, and being able to pull for you, and knowing the kind of quality and the character that we had in this program.
Today, and I don't have to tell you, but today, you have set the standard. The greatest football team ever to play at Auburn University, 11-0, because of what you did on the field, 11-0. It's never been done before. There's better teams, maybe. There can be better, but you have done something nobody else can do, and no one will ever take it. You'll be the benchmark that they look to. And then one more thing. Absolutely. Today, I became an Auburn man.
1 year to go 11-0, to be the best team in the conference, to have a chance at winning a national championship. I mean, it just all came out between Coach Dye and myself and the players and Coach Dye and the players. It was probably as emotional a moment as you have had around Auburn for a long time, as the old blended with the new, showed everybody again that Auburn's going to be around forever and ever and ever.
For a guy like me, who's always, you know, as far as football and my sport career has gone, I haven't had too many victories, you know, not that much success. And to reach this plateau and on this level, to go out a perfect season is something that I can remember and celebrate and always have in my heart.
The 1993 Auburn Tigers, the team with the perfect attitude.